My Cybertruck is so confused. What is it, stainless steel? It wants to be matte. It wants to be stainless steel. It wants to have a liquidy look. It wants to be stainless steel. It wants to be silvery. You know what it is? It's the best of all worlds. It's all of those things and better with this PPF wrap. DIY. I still have that iconic Cybertruck look. It still looks like a Cybertruck with flair. It has a little bit of a matte satin look with the protection that you may say that you might not need for a Cybertruck, but it has it here and it's beautiful. Oh, tell me what you think. I'm gonna break it down for you how you can do this too, or make your Cybertruck your own. Yo, welcome back, whether you're a longtime viewer or a recent subscriber. I appreciate every single one of you. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Now I've wrapped my truck in a PPF. You guys have seen me wrapping in matte black before. I changed that because everybody got matte black. I wanted something different, but I also wanted something to look more like the original Cybertruck. And actually, before I even did it in matte black, the first color I really liked was this. This is matte liquid silver, something along those lines. This time I got it from Cybertruck Wraps. And I mean, it has Cybertruck in the name, right? They have the widest variety of different wraps, PPFs that I've seen. So your selection is vast, and they're here in the US, so shipping should be faster. And most importantly, they're very communicative. You can customize it. You can pick a style you want, a design you want. They will make it for you. And of course, with a wide variety of different materials, they have 3M, Avery Dennison. They have so many different brands and styles. They also, like I said, they're in South Carolina, small family business. Another big part why I really like them, they give you extra practice pieces. They give you an extra hood. They give you an additional front like grill piece. And also, because of the big recall on these cantrail pieces, they give you extra ones. So let's say you're thinking like, I don't want to wrap it because what happens if I go take this in and get it replaced? Well, they'll give you another one. They give you 2 sets. So if you do that, you can rewrap it. And I feel like that's really cool. They're really thinking like a Cybertruck owner would, you know? So that's really cool. And they say they do have replacement pieces at affordable prices. But here's the thing. So I made a detailed wrap video. I talked about pretty much almost every panel. And I showed you tips and tricks. And I used 2 cameras for it. So the one I'm using right now is the one I used to film the whole thing. And I got some extra B-roll on my phone. Well, the one I used with this camera, the files were corrupted. I lost all the files. So I looked at what I had on my phone. I have some B-roll, and I'm going to show you those. But it's just, you know, I'm making a video a second time, and I'm pretty bummed out because, you know, it takes extra time to make a video while doing the work. So wrapping the car is one thing, and then trying to record it. It took a lot of time, and I felt bad letting them know, like, hey, here's what happened. But, you know, life happens, things happen. But anyway, I'll still talk about those tips as I go through this. One thing is they recommend that for beginners especially, it's you get this 3M paint protection film installation gel. And I do like this. Typically I use baby shampoo and distilled water as my slip solution, but this is very helpful. It was like 45, 50 bucks. But it's big, and I have half a container left, and I actually used it on my sister's car to help her rewrap a portion of her car. So I do have some PPF wrapping experience, but I feel like if you follow some of my tips and you watch other videos, you can do it too. Again, it's not perfect. It won't be perfect. If it is perfect, you know, even if you get it done at a professional, from a professional, it won't be perfect. I talk to people who've got theirs wrapped, and we know how expensive that could be. $6,000, $8,000, $10,000. And probably the hardest part, the tucking areas. Some people who've got them done at professionals, the tucked areas are coming loose. And of course they could take it back, but it's still not perfect. But I'm gonna show you, I'm very happy. I think I'm the happiest with this wrap, and this one's gonna be on for a while. They do provide cutting tools, lots of tucking tools. So they give you things that you need. A heat gun, like I said, I had one because I've done it before. And you know, I bought that baby shampoo that I did use. So I did use both. So you need distilled water because in a red container, you want the tacking solution. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So the slip solution goes underneath to help it slide. And that's when the gel comes in. And then I applied the baby shampoo on top. So when I'm squeegeeing it out, it is basically like it helps it glide across. But let me talk about a couple things. First of all, I told you that I wanted to keep the Cybertruck look with this silver, but it's a matte silver. And also, of course, fingerprints aren't a problem anymore. Also, I took this off-roading after wrapping it, and the sides were, I don't know if these are scratches or dirt traces, but you see these long streaks along the side of my truck and over here on the trim pieces. And if you didn't have a PPF, you know, your stainless steel doesn't have paint, but they can scratch, you can get swirl marks. There were 2 other gentlemen with Cybertrucks that went off-roading with us, and they have permanent scratches on their stainless steel, which is not a big deal. But if you do want to prevent that from happening, this does work, because now, as you see where it was, those are all gone. All of those streaks are gone, those little scratch marks. And again, it could be that, you know, maybe it's harder to scratch on this, but also PPF has a self-healing property where if it sits in the sun for a while, those micro scratches will go away. But you can see here, I still got scratches on this, right? I hope it's picking that up. I still have scratches on that. So that's that's going to continue to be scratched. It doesn't have PPF on this. But this, yeah, look at that, man. It looks perfect. Another thing is, with one of the extra pieces that I have, my wife said, hey, let's see if we can wrap this mirror. And I said, yeah, let's try it. I haven't done it yet, and I wish I did, because now this has scratches on it too. But if you look at the back, I have this this shield, right? This tailgate shield that I love. It's just for aesthetics mostly. It looks cool. It's like a bulletproof vest. And I still have my matte black wrap here. And I'm going to keep that on, at least for now, because I like the way it looks. I like the black on black in the back. And I'm going to keep that on. I'm not going to replace that, at least not yet. So I like the black sleek look in the back. But I did wrap all the rest of it. All right, first of all, let me tell you what I did. So, of course, you wash the truck, you know, do your thing. I didn't clay bar it this time. I don't think I need to clay bar it. You know, you want to make sure while washing the vehicle, you want to clean all the edges, because this wrap does go around. It does go around the edges. So, to make it a cleaner install, and then, of course, you have to do all these edges too. I like to wet the ground inside of my garage. If you have a covered area, even better. I like to wet it. That way the dust settles. So you don't want a lot of dust in here. I have dogs. I don't want my dog hair everywhere. It kind of helps it with the humidity, helps the dust settle, and then you get it out. And I like how it came in a skinny, like a roll. And then I took out all the pieces and I cut them out and labeled them and rolled them back up. That way I knew that, you know, I can just grab a piece at a time and apply it. All right, and I started in the front. And some of the tips that I will tell you is, when you lay that piece down, of course, you're gonna apply a lot of gel underneath the slip solution. Spray, spray, spray. Here are my spray bottles, the blue. I spray tons of it underneath, on your hands, and on top with the baby shampoo. And then when you lay it down, this film was made to be tucked. It was cut precisely to be tucked. So something I learned is, you want the same amount of flap hangover on all sides. That way, before you even start squeegeeing and making it perm, try to get it as perfect as possible all the way around. In other words, don't have a lot of tail here and short tail here, because when it comes to tucking, obviously this side won't tuck as nicely. But Trust me, emphasize that. I mean, don't over stress on it, but make sure you do it. This part, I think you should start with this part. So what I like to do is when I squeegee, and I did this in the video, I like to start in the center, come down there, and then it's tacked because there's no gel or liquid underneath. So it's tacked down and it ain't going nowhere now. And then I do a T. So now it's here in the middle, then I'll go out, I'll go all the way out. And sometimes you'll see like the gel pop out on the end. And then sometimes what I would do is I'll lift up the edges and I'll spray tack underneath. Red, 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 red. And then squeegee it out, and then it's staying. It's not going anywhere, right? And then once you have that T, remember I went here. It sucks doing it without being able to show you. And then you just squeegee it all out, looking for bubbles, taking your time, squeegeeing it all out. And then with once you get everything squeegeed out, you're gonna have your flaps all the way around it just hanging over. So with your flaps, what I do is I go over with under all the flaps and I spray the tack solution underneath all of it, 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 all of it. And then I wipe it, make sure all the gel is out. Because that gel, you know, or the slip solution, if you just use that with the baby shampoo, just a little bit of baby shampoo. I squeegee it all. I spray it all out, clean it, and then I let it dry for a little bit, and then I tuck. And some of the harder areas was tucking under here, right? Tucking this. And honestly, I think going off-road, the parts that were a little coming up got dirt under them. So here's what I've been doing this past week or so. I get tack solution. I'll pull it up a little bit where you see like a little bit of flap, and I'll clean it out with the distilled water. And then I'll retuck it. And when I retuck it the second time now, after, you know, having this on for 2 weeks, I stick in, and you want a clean one, this is dirty. I stick in the tuck tool and I keep it in, and I actually leave it in there. I leave it in there for a day or so and just let it stick, and it's been helping because I had a couple other pieces that came up a little bit. And that's pretty much the same method on everywhere. In the center here, straight up and down, side all the way out, and then up, 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 down, 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 right? With this piece, same thing. Every area I did that, except for on these bends. With the bends, I went across. Like I'll do the door, I just went across here and got that locked in, and then I go up, 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 down, 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 out, out, out. Well, I'll go here, straight down, then out, 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 out. It's gonna take some time, and I learned the more time that I take doing it right, the better it ends up looking. But some of the other areas that are difficult, you see, I did add my logo underneath. And if you want to do that, you can do that anywhere. All you do is put a sticker underneath. You put a sticker where you want it. This is not a foundation series. I used to have a foundation series and hit the logo went right here, but I actually finally put my branding right here. So I put a sticker on underneath, and then you apply this on top, and it kind of looks embossed. It looked pretty dope to me. But some of the harder areas, this part down here, because it's pretty skinny, right? So you do have to remove all these trim pieces. Some people say remove the camera. I don't. I just let it dangle a little bit. And as you can see, I need to retuck right here. Again, not perfect. Nobody notices it though, but you. But I like how, you know, my wife and I spent about 15 hours doing it. It took us 2 days because the first day I laid it all down, and the second day I came back and tucked. I tucked, and I let things dry out and tucked it. But once you remove this and get all the edges lined up, this bottom part, all my bottoms are hardest because it's the lowest, but that's one area. And once I remove that trim, and you just pull it out, pop, 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 and you know, you just pull it straight out and it pops. And then there's little bolts in there that you can remove. Another difficult part, and when I say difficult, it's not even that hard, it's just time consuming. What you want to do is you want to remove this side mirror. So you pull this back and you remove those screwdriver, and then you just lift it up. And again, some people disconnect them. I don't even disconnect it. I just hold it and I go ahead and I tuck it underneath. And also this weather stripping, I remove this as well. You just pull it out, right? No big deal. So those are some parts. And then when you remove this trim piece in the back, you have to see there's a charging port right here. So what I had to do was I removed this piece, You can't remove this, but I actually did my first cut. I did my first cut of the film here so I can tuck it beneath because it was a little bit longer. Again, I told you, you got to have a perfect amount everywhere. And it was a little bit longer here, so I actually cut it myself and then tucked it in. So I was pretty proud. That was my first cut, my first time ever cutting. So then I felt good about myself and I tried to cut right here because it does overlap. I tried to cut right here, but the problem is I didn't even look up how to cut. So I'm sitting there trying to saw it with the blade they gave you, with the razor. I'm trying to saw it, but I found out later that you score it and then tear it, and I didn't know that. So I'm actually gonna, I feel more confident now. I'm gonna try to do some PPF on my Model 3 in the front without it being DIY cut. But for right now, definitely if you're a beginner, DIY cut. But again, you can't really notice that, right? You don't even notice it. Nobody noticed. I took it off-roading. One person did ask, because we're talking about the camp rail recall, he did ask about this part right here, and I told him the same thing. I said, hey, yeah, I tried to cut it. And again, it's not the worst, but it's only noticeable because he was looking at the camp rail and asking about it. But look, you don't even notice. And again, my wife and I did this, and we're not professionals, but for $1,200, $1,600, you know, it depends on which film you get, man, you're saving a lot of money. Also, when you're done, you'll find bubbles here and there. What we do is we bought some diabetic needles, and I don't have it right now because I gave a bunch to my sister. And all you do is poke it in the hole and squeegee it out, and it comes out. So I don't know. It looks really good, you know. So the next hardest part is actually this whole cant rail, because it's a long piece, and it's a long piece to make sure that you have an even amount on the top and bottom of hangover, and then tucking. So you want to make sure you tuck it under. See if I can show you a different angle. You want to tuck it under and take your time and make sure you tuck it nicely. I did have a little bit come up here, a little bit come up, and again, like I told you, I just resprayed it and held it down and kept my tuck tool in there for a day. And man, I'm telling you, I mean, I don't know, y'all tell me, I think it looked beautiful. I love the way it looks. But something, I don't know if it's a professional thing or not, but when it comes to tucking, I'm not the best, right? So you can see here, it's not a clean, perfect tuck. I got some wrinkles here, but they haven't come up. Got some wrinkles here. And I guess I could probably, look at that, I guess I could work it out. Yeah, I guess I could work these out. Well, I could work them out. They're not the worst thing, but honestly, it doesn't really bug me. And another area, you know, hard to tuck, it's right here. But again, I could take my tool and I could come back in it and tuck it some more. And I think I'm gonna do that right now, show you. Yeah, so look, this is all we're doing right here. Oh yeah, look, it's looking better already. Look at that. So you just continue to tuck, and you might be tucking for a week or two, just to be real. You might be tucking for a week or two. And right here, and in certain angles when the sun hits it, you know, it looks, look at that, man, I look better already. So when the sun hits it at certain angles, you can see, like right here. So like a little bit here and there, and you just tuck it. But again, that's if you're looking and searching, right? Overall, it looks beautiful, it looks amazing. I'm very happy and fortunate that my wife, even though she told me she wasn't gonna help me anymore, very fortunate that she did help me. You can do it by yourself, but having an extra set of hands is much better. And I don't know, I feel like this is my best one yet. And I'm pretty happy about it. I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, it helped out going off-road. It looks beautiful. I get compliments all the time. Man, I'm so sad I don't have all the footage. but you know, and we did our thing on it. And once again, it's not perfect, but absolutely 100% worth it in my opinion. You may get frustrated. We always get a little frustrated. You may realize, oh, I really ruined this one piece. They got extra pieces, and you can reach out. But again, Cybertruck wraps, I appreciate it. And honestly, I feel terrible. I apologize for, you know, making this video after the fact. But you know what? It is what it is. And my viewers know, like, hey, I won't steer them wrong. Very doable. Yes, I've done it before. Yes, following my tips and other tips you might find out there will definitely help you. But if you have any questions or comments, let me know. I appreciate every single one of you. And don't forget, Cobra told ya. All right, y'all.